check in on characters from the books in the show periodically as we advance further into this playthrough, and today we're going to look at Sandor Clegane, the Hound, who, at the ripe old age of 29, died a natural death. I feel like he deserves it. I really do. So before we get too far along into today's episode, I want to apologize for the last episode. My goal is to make episodes as entertaining as possible, and the last episode, while some stuff happened, not a lot happened. And I think more than anything I was reaching just to get an episode out, and so please accept my apology on behalf of that. From now on, we're only going to show important things that happen and entertaining things that happen, and so I hope last episode didn't deter you from watching too much, but I did just want to go ahead and say that in my attempt to try to put an episode out within my schedule, which this one will, we're trying to make that happen too, but the goal is to make an entertaining episode, and as I was watching back at that last one, it was not entertaining, so that's not going to happen this time. So as I consider everything that has happened over the past few years and our shift to the rulership focus, it really has not improved our monetary situation very much. So we're going to switch back to business and hope that we can, through the events that pop up, begin to increase our national treasury so that eventually we can pay off this debt. My goal is to do it before Aegon dies. I'm not sure that that's going to happen. And here's one of those events that's popped up. There's a group of carpenters in King's Landing that are working together more and more, as well as taking on apprentices. This is a situation that cannot be ignored, and so you need to either approve of this carpenters guild to ensure that you have a good reputation amongst the skilled workers, or you could outlaw them to make sure that they are not an impediment to the local market structure. So I'm going to go ahead and support the carpenters. It decreases city tax a little bit, increases build time modifiers, and decreases build cost modifiers, but also prosperity increases, which I think in the long run, which this looks like for the next 10 years, eventually that tax modifier is going to go up, I think. So yeah. Here is one of the lunatic events that came up. You're sitting on the floor of your bedchamber, wearing one of your shoes as a hat, when suddenly a man-sized gopher enters the room. It is dressed as a maid, and when you shout in alarm, the rodent squeaks and skitters away in panic. You chase it down the hall, but only find a terrified maid cowering on the floor. I lose 20 prestige. Oh, man. Oh, okay, cool. So, Willis Tyrell is proving to be a very good master of laws. I have him, I think, sent specifically to the Vale to improve my relationship with Harold Aaron, and it seems to be going quite swimmingly. Good show. Okay, so this is one of those decisions that I'm not going to be able to make easily. Lord Paramount Willis Tyrell has been a leal and able servant, having successfully completed many tasks in aid of the Iron Throne. It would be seen as the right and honorable course to reward him with certain incomes and grants, so as to foster greater loyalty, which I agree with, because he has done quite well. Very capable person. The problem is, his reward would be 76 gold, which is a little bit ridiculous, if you get down to it, if you think about it. And so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grant him with a artifact from the vault. And that's really the only thing I can think of right now that would eventually lead to us not, one, having to spend money, but two, I think we have some artifacts in the vault that we can do without. So let's see what we have. Give artifact. We have Aenys' crown, Aegon III's crown, Aegon IV's crown, Maekar's crown, the Crown of Majesty, Joffrey's crown, the Crown of Winter, the history of the Rhoynish Wars, the lineage and histories, the Jade Compendium. I think we're going to give him Joffrey's crown. I do believe. Actually, you know what? We're going to give him Tommen's crown, because his sister was Tommen's wife. That just makes sense, doesn't it? I fear the worst has happened. My son and heir has married a Vale woman at the age of 13 who is attractive, temperate, humble, and kind. She's being tutored by Loris, which is good. She has an intrigue, educational focus, and I'm really not sure exactly what to do with this. She has a strong claim on the lordship of Moonsgrey. Her parents are Lord Brighton of Moonsgrey and Mary Chittering. That's not what I was hoping for, to be honest with y'all. But I suppose concessions must be made, and I suppose that once I take over as Lord Aemon of Dragonstone, that a wife can be set aside or whatever, but I would have hoped for a little bit of a better alliance in the meantime, and I suppose that we won't get that. But something to keep an eye on, certainly, is Lord Jacaerys Valerion, his daughter, Daenerys, is High Valyrian. She seems to be moving at least in the right direction of being a fairly decent character, so pretty good stats already for the age of 7. So something to consider and to think about as we move forward. Now, I did notice I have an open council position that I have to take care of. It is the Hand of the King. Let's see. We can have Lord Merrick Cave of Crackclaw Baron. Problem with that is he has a stutter. I don't know if that's necessarily befitting of the position. He's also depressed and has cancer. There's also Gregor Langward, and Merrick Celtigar, who is a Westerosi Valyrian. I think that's where we're going to go with. Right there. 11 stewardship, not quite as good as Merrick, but seems to have a little bit more longevity in his future. So, Merrick Celtigar, Hand of the King. Congratulations. And it seems giving Willis Tyrell the Crown of Majesty was all for nothing, because apparently it's not enough to repay him for his honorable service to the Iron Throne. And I could say I owe him nothing, and he would have an opinion change of -20 of me, or I can just go ahead and cough up the 76 gold, or have me owe him a favor, but I really don't want to do that because these characters can tend to cash in favors like the worst possible time and really take advantage of you. So I think some gold is going to come out of our treasury, unfortunately. So apparently Daario Naharis wants to kill me. I mean, I can't say I blame him, so. Well, it seems like Sir Balon Swan, the Breaker of Yunkai, that's awesome, has finally passed away. He was quite disfigured and wore a mask in his late life, but he died a natural death at the age of 62. And he was over protecting Queen Daenerys. So we're going to have to select a new member of the Kingsguard and also send a new member over to protect Dany for reasons I really can't explain other than the fact that, it's just the right thing to do. So here we go. A vacancy has become available in the Kingsguard. 7 swords must guard the king. You must choose a replacement. So, bringing all the greatest knights in the realm. Alright, it seems like we have another Tyrell. It is the son and heir, I assume. Yeah, the son and heir of the Reach, who is a formidable fighter. Wow. And a knight. But I really cannot do that because he's the rightful heir to the Reach. So who else? Rickard Endicott. Who is a skilled fighter, who is shrewd, I like that, brave, just, kind, ambitious, shy, but a skilled commander. This guy is good. I can get behind that. And then there's Eric Whitehead. who is a formidable fighter, gray eminence, a knight, a duelist, a family person, brave, cruel, and greedy. I mean, as tempting as that is, why does he have such a terrible marshal? Base 3. I guess because he doesn't have a commander trait. But even still, the base diplomacy is not great either. Maybe he wasn't educated that well? He has 8 learning. Anyways, I definitely think we're going to try to get Sir Rickard Endicott, who is a 17-year-old and a flat turning expert. I like it. But that shrewd, then that's a good trait to have for sure. So let's see. Sir Rickard Endicott, step forward, and he accepted. Good. Sir Rickard Endicott kneels. Your Grace, he says, it would be the highest honor to serve in your Kingsguard. There we go. Perfect. Lucas Waters, who is the son of people I don't care about. Go. I don't care. Well, it looks like my plan to give my second son a dragon's egg has worked to some extent. News from Marine, Your Grace. A new dragon has entered the world. Prince Aerion Targaryen has apparently successfully hatched one and has named the she-dragon Orbarion. Orbarion, the daughter of Rhaegal. So, and Rhaegal doing quite well, growing quite well. Wroth and affectionate. Those two traits go together quite well, I suppose. Yep. Alright, so I know I haven't really done this in the past, and I've kind of avoided this whole situation, but I think I'm going to fight in this tournament. It's a Grand Tourney of Casterly Rock, and it looks like, being a big tourney, there may be a good payout at the end if we win, or we may be able to bet. So, I'm gonna a chance to prove my worth. I'm gonna take it. Your master of coin comes to see you one afternoon. He explains that he has devised a plan to bring in exotic goods by setting up a trade route with a foreign realm. This would, of course, require a sizable monetary investment, but the potential profits would also be great. So, let's organize an expedition, because we need to figure something out, and we have some gold to invest, but we really need to figure something out in terms of getting money, for sure. Okay. The time has come to outfit a ship for the trading expedition. The harbor master shows you a large ship with a sizable cargo hold that would be perfect for this job, but it does come at quite a hefty price. So, buy a merchant ship for the journey, hire a crew of bandits to steal the ship. Ooh. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's buy the merchant ship. The word is spread that you're planning a trading expedition, and a group of septons have arrived at your court with a request. They are offering temple funds for the journey if you will allow them to come along on the journey. Huh. Well, I don't see why not. I have a good amount of piety. I would assume that Aegon would be, a pious king, at least to some extent. Maybe not like Baelor the Blessed, but a pious king nonetheless. So, of course. Dear King Aegon VI, I have been informed about your ambitions to establish trade operations in our vicinity. I do hope that the lost trade route in this incursion will result in for the I can give him some coin or not. I'm not going to give you any coin because I don't care about you. What are you going to do? Attack me? Where's this guy from? Tyrell. Oh no, I don't care about you. It's time to set out on the trading expedition. Hopefully, it will yield good profits. Let's go to foreign lands. Let's do this.